Hi everyone, it's Tammy, and I have had so much fun doing the one sheet wonders that I did that I decided I was going to do a third one. I actually decided this third one after I did the first one, so I planned and cut my second and third ones together. So my second one just posted a little minute ago, maybe yesterday. And then this one will post. I don't know if I'm going to do it consecutive days or what, but so this will be the last one to post, but this one might be my favorite. Although I was totally taken back by the first one. I didn't think I would even like it, but not only did I end up loving it, it also made me want to do more. So that's why I did the second and this one. So this is Pinecone Lodge paper. This is absolutely gorgeous paper. It's from Michael's. Look though, I got it in the mail. It's like totally cut. Like this must have been the first in the box, and they took their box cutter and cut it. But luckily, it didn't really mess with too much of the paper. I don't know if I used the first one or not, but this one has a slight cut in it, but it's not bad at all. So I don't know if this was the very first paper. I've had this since last year, so I'm not sure. But anyway, it wasn't, it ended up not being a big deal, which is great, but yeah, yikes. So this paper is absolutely adorable. It has my critters, and it has plaid, and it has gold foiling, and it is just so pretty. I'm probably going to make some other things with it soon. I just don't know what yet, but I love it. And I'm using this paper for our one sheet wonder. So when you're picking out a paper for your one sheet wonder, make sure that it's non-directional. This would be really pretty. And that's really the biggest thing. It needs to be a 12 by 12 sheet of paper for at least this one sheet wonder. There are others with different sizes. And and this one was hard to choose too. I almost did this one instead of the one that I did last time, but I wanted to use a different paper pack just because I want to challenge myself to use some of my paper. That's really pretty, but it wouldn't work for the one sheet wonders because some of your trees would be going totally sideways. But it is really neat, and they even have these big sheets like this. Now, these are kind of difficult to use, at least in my opinion, unless you're going to like frame it or use this as a centerpiece of a scrapbook. As a card maker, these are a little bit more difficult to use, but you can still use it. Sometimes I've used it and then just covered up whatever the foiling was. Like if I used part of this, I could cover this up, which is totally doable, but it kind of ruins the whole thing. I know I used this one last year for something. I like that. This is really pretty. So, I mean, I'm just kind of showing you the paper. I don't even know why I'm showing you the paper, just because it's gorgeous. I guess that's why. And the squirrels, oh, they're so cute. So again, when you're looking for one sheet wonder paper, make sure that it's non-directional and it's 12 by 12 for this particular sketch. Now, again, I got my sketch idea from World of Gencraft, and I found her. I just YouTubed one sheet wonder tutorials because I wanted to see some and see what kind I liked, because there's so many different ones, and I've even done one before and I thought, well, I could do that one, but I really wanted one that was on a 4x6 sheet of paper, so that's where I came up with this. The one that I did before was smaller pieces of paper, but each card had more of the paper on it, I guess is what I should say. So this gives you 12 4x6 cards. So what you will need in addition to the one sheet of patterned paper is you will need 12 card bases, and then you'll need 2 pieces of coordinating cardstock that like goes with this. So I used my green, and 2 pieces is usually enough because you will use that for the little element that goes on top of each card, and then also you will use it for your layering piece. So depending on how big your layering is and what you want to do, you could use more than that, but in all 3 of my examples I have used 2 pieces of, in this case it was garden green. I used 2 pieces of real red in my first one, 2 pieces of soft sky in my second one, and 2 pieces of garden green in this one. But then I also used 1 piece of craft paper for this particular card. The other ones I did not. I used a piece of Whisper White for the second one, and I think Very Vanilla for the first one. So, and those are all Stampin' Up! Card colors, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm trying hard not to just use exclusive Stampin' Up! Stuff in some of my videos. Some of them I will continue to use all Stampin' Up!, but I know that I need to use some of my non-Stampin' Up! Stuff too, and this is a fun way for me to be a little more creative just because I don't feel like I'm have to use just Stampin' Up! Stuff, but I do feel like I should share when I am using it because I am a demonstrator and I'd love to be your demonstrator. If you're interested in anything, you can shop 24/7 in my shop down below. So with that being said, this is how you're going to need to cut your piece of pattern paper. And if I call this designer series paper ever, that's the same thing. I'm just used to calling it that because that's what I use a lot of, but I need to use some more of my just pattern paper, which is what I'm doing. And this technique did come from Stampin' Up! At first, as far as I know. I don't know I don't know who made the first technique. I have no idea, but I know that that's where I first saw the technique and love it because it's double-sided paper that you're using, so you could kind of get two different looks using one sheet of paper, which is also neat. With this one, I'm going to get the same look for all 12 cards because it is just single-sided, but honestly it's fine with me and it's turning out beautifully and I love this pattern, so we are in good shape. So let's see. You will need the one sheet of this, and then with the 2 sheets of, I'm going to just use the garden green as the example, you're going to want to cut out 12 of layering sheets, whatever shape or size you need. In this case, I used one of our scallop dies, and I die cut each one of these using our Big Shot, and then I also die cut the insert using the Big Shot. So these will go right on top of those. And then you also are going to want, these look like scraps, but they are not. You want to use 1/2 inch, and you want 10 5.5 by 1/2 inch strips, and then you want 4, and there should be 4 here. 1, 2, yes, there's 4. 4 4.25 by 1/2 inch. And then if you want some other embellishments, you can also use those, including, I'm going to be using dimensionals, and I'm probably not going to be using any ribbon, but you could use ribbon, you could use rhinestones. I think that I'm just going to leave mine simple and let the embossing speak for itself, because I did emboss each one of these with copper embossing powder, and then I took some of my stickles in Christmas red and did Rudolph's little nose. So I thought that would be really cute. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is cut this to size. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut it at 5.5 inches first. And then I'm going to cut it at 4.25 inches. And that leaves a piece that's 2.25 inches, and I'm just going to cut this twice at 5.5. Oh, 5.5, let's go there. Measure twice, cut once. 5.5 and 5.5. And then this is the only little trash that you'll have from the whole 12 inch by 12 inch piece of pattern paper. Kind of great. So then I'm going to take the 4.25 sheet and I'm going to cut this into 3-inch pieces. 1, 2, and I'll get 4 of those. 3, 4. And then finally I'm going to take our largest piece, which was cut at 5.5, and I'm going to cut this at 2 inches. So I'll get 6 2 by 5.5 pieces of paper. And when you're picking out your designer series paper or your pattern paper for this project, I know I said that you want it to be non-directional. You also might want it to be a smaller design. I was just thinking about that. Like if you had really big, I don't know, bells or something for Christmas, and you're cutting these at 2 inches, so you're not going to see a lot of the bell, and sometimes you might not know what it is. So 2 inches isn't very big, so think about that when you're picking out your paper too. Whoops, did I something wrong. 1, 2, 5. Oh, this should be 2 inches. Okay, woo. For some reason it looked like it was bigger than that. It's not. Okay, so there we go. So I have 6, 4, and 2. Making a total of 12. I was like, does that make 12? And then I also need 12 pieces of card base, and I've already cut and scored these so that they are ready to go. And another thing that you may need, depending on the color of your card base, would be an insert piece. That would be extra. In my very first video that I did this year of these, the very first Christmas one, I used black base, which is totally not my comfort zone, but I really love the way the cards came out. And I had to use a very vanilla piece here so that you could have something to write on. And I think that they turned out adorable. I was really surprised. So I am going to do 2 of each card, and let's go ahead and just get started, I guess. So each design has 2 different ones, and I don't know if I should score all these. I think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to get all of these cut and or scored, or I guess folded, burnished. And then we can start with the cards. I didn't know how much you guys wanted to see, and I've done a little bit different each video, so it's kind of fun though. I mean this, you can do these totally assembly card style, which is also fun for me. I don't know why I kind of dig that, but I do. And, oh, whoops, nope, I thought that was the last one. This would be really pretty with very vanilla too, and I probably would not put, anything in the inside if I was using vanilla paper also, but I think they will be cute with the white, but they would totally be cute with very vanilla as well. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take the first card, and I'm going to do, well actually I'll take 2 cards because I'm going to do 2 of the same each time. Let me put these over here. So the first one, I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to use 2 of the 4 1/4 by 3 inches, and I'm going to put those right here. And I'm going to use snail adhesive, or in my case I'm using my automatic tape gun. That just seems to work fastest for me. If you wanted to use glue, you could. I don't know, in this kind of thing I like glue, certainly, but in this, when I'm putting card layers on, I usually go for my ATG. And then I need 2 of these smaller little green pieces, and these are going to go right here, kind of like a little contrasty and ribbony. And I don't know the Jen from World of Gencraft at all. I've never met her, never talked to her, don't know her from Adam. But I can tell you, if she came up with this design, she's brilliant. Because I absolutely love it. So then on this card, I'm going to use the 2 of the smaller 2 inch by 5.5 inch. And we're going to put this on the corner this way, and this card will open this way. And of course you could be creative however you want and do these in any way, but I will have a picture at the end that I'll try to leave up for a little second that will show you all 6 card designs so that you can pause it if you want to, and you can use the same designs. That's actually what I did for her video. I just paused it where she had all 6 of them so that I could see them, and then I just assembled accordingly. So I need 2 of the long 1/2-inch strips. And I'm just putting those up against these again. I mean, every one of them is the same. I will be butting my garden green up against my plaid pattern paper. You could see I needed to replace my blade, and I sharpened it, and it came out nice. I'm still going to need to replace it here soon, but for now the sharpening worked. And then I'm going to have 2 more, and I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to use the 2 wider pieces of 5.5. And these are 5.5 by 2 1/4, or 2 1/4 again. I needed to look at my template to remember. And these are going to go smack dab in the middle. So I know I said that I was doing 12 cards and that you needed 14 strips because you needed 10 of these and you needed 4 of the smaller ones. And the reason you needed 14 instead of 12 is because this card gets 2. You're going to put one on the top and one on the bottom. Oops. So the orientation really doesn't matter. If you have a stamp that is your favorite and it only goes in one orientation, you can totally make this work. I'm just kind of, at least I'm starting out with the way that she did it. Now she did have things that were different, oriented different ways, and I did that on with my first card as well. But with my second card and this card, my second card, it didn't matter which way they were oriented. It was a snowflake, so it could go any way. And this one, it does matter. So and it mattered when I was cutting them out what size I used for the actual image, because it is I used an oval because it's a long image. So like this one is supposed to be, according to her instructions, this way, but if I wanted to make it this way, I could. And then I'm going to get 2 more cards, and this one is going to open this way, and we're going to put these plaids on the bottom. And we're going to put the green right up against it. So it's just using the pattern paper in different ways to give you different looks, but they're all very similar. And I think they all turn out beautiful. I can't say enough about this one sheet wonder technique. I love it, and it's a really great way to make a lot of cards in a fairly easy amount of time, and to use up one entire sheet without having to, go from, I don't know, 1/4 of a sheet on this one, and, maybe just a little snippet of this sheet and half of this sheet. You can just use one and done. And I think they all turn out very, I don't want to say sophisticated, but I don't know another word right now. I think they all look very sophisticated, very professional. You could totally give these out if you were a business person and you wanted to give them out to clients or something. I think that this one sheet wonder technique would be amazing. And these are going to go on the top of this one. And I would say that prepping time prior to this, I probably spent, for this particular card, I probably spent an hour and a half in prep time that you guys didn't see. Then I'm going to use my shorties for this one. So, this isn't a quick card. It's not the 20-minute card, or, 20 cards in 20 minutes or whatever. I know I did something like that one time, I think only once. I might do those again, but even those you start out with bases already made, so it's a little deceiving. But it's still fun. It's neat to challenge yourself and to see what you really can get done in a short amount of time. I think that after these, though, I think I will be good with my Christmas cards. I don't think I'll need any more because, you know, clearly I've made some throughout the year, and, well, closer to now than before. So then those are like that. Actually, no, these are like this. Sorry. And then I'm going to use my last two, and I'm going to put these on the top, and then the garden green on the bottom. I might even have some cards ready for next year if I don't use all of these this year, because I don't know that I needed, I know I needed at least 24 more, but I don't know that I needed 36 more, and that's how many I've made. And you could totally do that in a day. Give yourself some time in your craft room, which is something I love to do. It's so funny to me when I'm looking at these because I can totally tell, and I don't think anybody else will even notice unless you're a card maker, but I can totally tell when I sharpen my blade. And I did do a tip on that, but that's not going to post until 2018, which is hard to say, but it's true. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to lay these out as though this is how they're oriented. So there's two like this, 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 and then these last two are like this. So I'm just going to lay these out like that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ATG gun and attach these to this, and then I will put some dimensionals on the backs of the green. I'm going to try to real quickly do all 12 of these. Just separate them. And this is how I assembly line it. And I'm just kind of making sure that you guys see that process too, because I know some of you guys want to be able to do that as well. And hopefully this is not out of camera or out of view too much. I literally just put out all 12 of the ovals, well 11 because I put one up there, and I'm just going to town with my ATG gun, putting 3 strips of adhesive on the backs. And then I will put these onto the green, and then I will assembly line the dimensionals as well. And this stamp that I'm using is from the Christmas cookie cutter, which is still available. And then I'm just going to put these on top. Now sometimes if these aren't perfectly straight, you have to kind of look at it and put them on. So I don't really like to do it this one assembly line too much. I like to do one each. Well, I mean, I guess it is assembly, but I don't put them on top of this. I put them separate so that I can see it and then put it on top. Like, I would like to just be able to go boom, 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 but even if I keep these in a straight line, I still want to eyeball them. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I like to eyeball each one and make sure that I am getting it at least semi-centered. Are you eyeballing me, boy? That's from a movie, but I don't even remember what movie. But I remember that line for whatever reason. Oh, it may have been Full Metal Jacket. Ooh, that was a movie, wasn't it? I remember I saw that at the theater with my dad. Ooh. And my dad had been in the Navy, so it was crazy. I was like, is that really how it is? And he said that it was pretty tough like that sometimes. Oh, see, look, even though I'm eyeballing each one, I still get them crooked sometimes. And if you're careful with this ATG or your snail adhesive, it's the same kind of thing. You can lift it up and then redo it, but it has to be pretty quickly after you've laid it down. Otherwise, you're out of luck. Now that I have these off, I can use this space, which is a little more comfortable. Now, why don't I have 12 of these? What in the world? Am I missing one? I seem to have 13 reindeer. I literally did these really late last night, like I'm talking into the wee hours of the morning. Look, I have 2 extra reindeer and I need 1 more of these. That is so funny. Well, maybe 1 reindeer won't have the background. I don't know, or I can still cut it out. I do have some green left. I'll just save that one for last and we'll figure it out what we want to do. Okay, so that was this guy. But okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use dimensionals, so I'm going to take my dimensionals. And I should have just put these this way. Bump, 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 bump. And you don't have to use dimensionals on these. I just thought that it would be kind of cool. And you can use as many as you want. I'm kind of frugal with my dimensionals. I don't really know why. They're not expensive. I just, some of the things that I am frugal about, it's even bizarre to me. Because I'm going, why in the world? I'm worried about saving less than a penny, and you know, but then if it's something as, you know, I'll buy all the paper pads just because I like one piece of paper in it. I don't get it. I don't understand my obsession, but I'm weird and I know it, and I'll claim it. Okay, so I think that 2 will work. Let's just see. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm kind of wondering if I should have used a smaller, one of the smaller ones for this and used like maybe that one as a bigger one, but it doesn't matter. Because the wide one kind of looks a little funny. Oh, and this one's off too. Off center. So I'll put him there. Let's see what he looks like without any green behind him. You know what, I'm going for it because I don't think anybody would notice. I don't think anybody would care that much. As a card maker, we can kind of tell it needs an extra layer. It looks better with an extra layer, but it's not bad at all, so I'm going for it. So there's 1 set done. Oh, look, this one doesn't have, so I didn't have an extra one. I am goofy. I must have just cut 10. So weird. I'm just going to put this one on here too. That is so funny. See, he would look a lot better with this, but I think it's all right though. It's all right. We'll just go for it. And then this one, we're going to go this way. Just like that. And you know what? These are going to bug me. I'm taking them off and I'm going to do them on green. I know me, and it just bugs me. I can't not do it. I was trying to think for speed and just to have them done, I could just do it, but that's not going to work. I will take out my Big Shot. At least I know I didn't have 1 extra and 1 not enough. That was really kind of weird. And at least I did the hard part with the embossing and all of that. I didn't have to redo that. It's just way cuter with the green. It needs it. It needs it. Those. And then finally, I mean, so see how easy it is to assemble these once you have everything cut and ready. And I really love the assembly line process. It just works. Okay, so there's that. And now I'm going to move these out of the way so I can bring up my big shot. And I used the layering ovals. And I think this was the oval size that I used, but let me just double check. Yes. So I need to just cut 2 of these out of a piece of garden green. I think that that will cut it. Yes, woo, just made it. So there's 1. And 2. So you can see that that didn't take too awfully long extra. And then if you're working in the assembly line, you would just, of course, do that 12 times. Or in my case, 10. I don't know how I missed that, but I did. And then I'll put these back. I like to store my die cuts on magnets. It's so much easier. Or my dies on magnets. And let me just clean up this while I'm cleaning up. I have to clean as I go. That's another one of my weirdo things. Alright, so now that I have these, I can attach these little guys. And get out my dimensionals. 1, 2, 1, 2. And this one goes this way. And again, I say it goes this way, but it doesn't matter. And thanks. So there's that design, this design, this design, and this one goes this way. And this one, and this one. So isn't that awesome? And I love how these turned out. So cute. There you go. 12 cards. One sheet wonder. And I will have I'll have a picture of this for you guys to look at here at the end, and then I will also have a picture of these cards here at the end so that you can see those and use them accordingly. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a great day. Merry Christmas.